welcome to day 22 of Critical Encounters Villainous Yule calendar for December 2022. Here, we get in the holiday spirit and take a quick look at some random festive aspects of the game. So let's peek behind the door and see what our so-called villains are up to.
Mike, Steve, wake up, guys.
Huh?
The door to the lair is open.
What? Get the guards.
All right, someone call someone. Wait, someone's just sitting at the kitchen table drinking coffee.
Oh, sweet. Did he make some more?
Oh, yeah. Excuse me, who are you?
I am Stig from Norway.
Oh, well, welcome. Stig, how are you?
I am very good. Getting ready for holiday breaks.
Oh, my goodness. Steve, Mike, we've been talking about this guy for years.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
a
Steve.
delight to meet you.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, thanks for breaking into the lair.
I'm curious how you found it, but maybe it's all for the best.
Yeah, you've been leaving clues all around, so it wasn't too hard.
Oh, that's something we might not need to work on, guys.
Yep.
Maybe we should move.
That's too hard. Yeah.
It is a pain. Well, Steve, what can we talk to Stig about?
Well, I want to talk to Stig about a couple things, but first, I want to say thank you to Stig, and all their loyal listeners should say thank you as well, because this whole 25 days of Villainous craziness was his idea.
Woo!
Send us an email and said, hey, I have an idea. This will be a lot of fun for me and a ton of work for you guys, so you should do it. And we did it. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Those are the best ideas that make other people work and give enjoyment to me.
he did specifically ask for an episode with bad jokes and puns, so that's his fault, guys. That's his fault.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I hope we
thanks for
did
giving us that
suitable
opportunity.
disservice.
But what we were going to do, we wanted to talk to Stig because Stig, in one of your other emails, you mentioned that you primarily play this game with the pre-con decks. And that is something that we were really interested in. Your thoughts on the pre-cons, why you play that way, should other people play that way, just the whole idea of that. Because we hear a lot about deck building in other shows, so let's talk about not deck building in play.
Yes. I have never been a deck builder. I bought Arkham Horror LCG in 2016, played the 3 base game scenarios, had a blast, and had no desire whatsoever to build a new deck to manage to beat the scenarios, and sold it. Then when Marvel Champions came along, I kind of dismissed it as a deck builder because I'm not into deck building. But while driving in the car one day during COVID, I listened to another podcast that talked about easy solo games, and they talked about Marvel Champions. And my then 9-year-old son said, "Dad, can we try that?" And 7 minutes later, we passed the game store and bought it.
Nice.
Yes.
I mean, if the kid is going to ask, can we get a game? Like, isn't it always yes? So
Yes.
for me anyway, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a great excuse to use with the wife. No, he asked for it.
Perfect.
And I tried it, and I tried the base game, and my son joined me for 15 games or so, and then he was back on the PlayStation, and I continued to play the base game and just started buying hero packs. Got Doctor Strange. He was so powerful and a blast to play the first time. Tried to build a deck, and I managed to make Doctor Strange a weak hero.
Okay.
Sweet. All heroes take note.
Yes, it's possible to build a horrible deck for Doctor Strange too. And then I found out I don't need to build decks. I can just play different scenarios with the precons and enjoyed that. And even if my son stopped playing with me, I just kept on buying. So I'm up to speed now. I've been for a while. And enjoying the precons.
So are you? Do you have everything?
Yes.
You said you were caught up? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm caught up. I think I was caught up around Galaxy's Most Wanted. No. Yeah, I think it was that.
Stig, I feel like some obvious questions emerge from this approach. So one of them I
Yeah.
can think of right off the bat is oftentimes these precons are kind of knocked for not being very optimal or very strong. So are you finding that the game is harder for you to win with this approach?
It's probably a lot harder to win some scenarios with the precons, but I play on standard,
Okay, good.
and it's about having fun.
Sure.
I think Hulk is an awesome hero to play. He don't often win, but he smashes stuff, which is just fantastic.
Do you doctor up the scenarios? Like, do you change out modular sets and things like that, or do you play them kind of as their precons as well?
I play them precons a few times, and then I can put
Okay.
in other modulars. And it's often ones with lots of minions, because those are cool to play against.
Yep.
And the new, let's say, the Rhino modular, I don't remember the name, but the one that has Rhino as a
Chaos.
minion.
Bomb scare.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
No, not Bomb Scare.
Oh,
it's
But
City
a
in Chaos.
modular that has Rhino.
oh yeah, okay.
Like, say
And
it for the fourth time.
City in Chaos.
City in Chaos. Yeah. And Armadillo has been fun to put in a lot of stuff. And yeah, those big minions. And the Sinister Six modulars have been cool to put in various scenarios.
Oh yeah, nice.
But I don't really mind if I win or lose. It's about playing the heroes. And I've played Colossus a few times. And I think I've played a couple of green cards, but mostly his hero kit.
So here I have a couple questions on the precon. Then some of the
Yeah.
precons will come with like some bonus cards, hero cards in the back.
Yep.
You just leave them off to the side, or do you ever do any swapping in? Like,
I might swap in a card here or there. The Iron Man ally is in War Machine, in the War Machine deck now.
okay,
Even if there's a base, there's the hero specific ally.
all right. And then my other question, which kind of goes along with that, is there's this thing out there called Marvel CDB, where other people, much better than me, make decks, and then I steal their deck ideas and try building those decks. Have you have you tried that? Does that not interest you?
I've tried it. I tried it with the base game heroes when I was before. Was it the Thanos box?
Okay.
While I was waiting for that, I built a deck for each, or I stole a deck for each of the base game heroes. But I felt that too often I wasn't playing the hero. I was playing some other aspect of the game, like ally swarms or those I think I had a Voltron deck where I built up an ally. Maybe it was Black Cat. Maybe, I think so. And it felt like the Spider-Man cards just became resources. I didn't enjoy that.
Okay.
So, but there are probably, and it made some of the scenarios too easy, I think. So,
Yeah, I can see that. I do like the idea that when you play the precons, you're really focused in on the hero cards because those typically are better than the aspect cards. We've kind of gone through that before.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a fun way to play it, I think. So
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
the developers, they put some effort into building those precons for us.
Yeah.
Well, you did say that not every precon is great against every villain, which I think is true.
Yeah, not every precon is what you would consider a good deck. I found Valkyrie to be kind of boring. It just didn't work for me. And I'm continuously surprised by the love for Miss Marvel because I don't find that deck to be really fun in precon. I think that would probably be better if it was built as a proper
Oh yeah.
deck building deck. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, I
even
was,
remember what her precon was.
her precon was protection.
Protection,
Oh,
yeah.
protection. Okay.
Yeah. Protection is not my favorite aspect.
Oh, Mike.
Uh-oh.
It's not even in the top 3.
Oh my god.
Good.
That's probably because I play solo a lot, and it's
Yeah.
just not.
Yep, so do I.
That's funny.
All right, so you mentioned a couple of heroes that you didn't like the precons for. Do you find those to be call it the duds in the cycle? Or
Yeah,
are there any others?
there are heroes that just I play a few times, and since they don't work well, and there are other stronger, they kind of get left behind. Vision I didn't get him to work, so he's kind of like been played a few times and not been played after that. Valkyrie I found to be a bit not that good, so she's not been played. And when you get a hero from the Spider-Man box, when Spider and Ironheart comes along, they're so much more fun than the others. So they kind of, if I'm choosing a Spider hero, it's one of those.
Right.
Those ones really rely on the hero kit, I think, more than some of the others. So I can see that. Well, on the flip side of the coin, are there any precon decks that you find are particularly well put together? Some of your favorites?
Yeah, I have. I really enjoyed Black Widow when she came along because she was different than the others, and it was about preparing for what was to come. The preparation cards were really, really fun. Scarlet Witch is just awesome because so much happened, and I really like Star-Lord, even though he's kind of swingy in his precon.
No, that's just Star-Lord.
but and I think as I mentioned, Spider and Ironheart has been really cool.
Yeah, both of those are great.
Yeah, I have not played Storm and Wolverine yet, but I played the other X-Men, and Colossus with his tough status cards is really fun deck to play.
Storm is interesting. I find her a very challenging precon, so I'm curious to hear what you're going to think of her.
Yeah, I'll have to get to that soon.
So, Steve, then you really only see these heroes with one aspect. That's true, right? For the
That's
most part?
correct, yes. Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way to like lift all the Justice cards from one precon and throw them in another deck and just swap out. It's not really deck building. It's just, what would you call that? Deck shifting?
Work.
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 I know that the Marvel Champions Monthly guys at one point they were doing like I think they were calling it like Smash Up or something, where they basically had here's 25 cards for aggression. You can just take this out, put it in any hero you want, and off you go. And it was sort of like a pod or like
Yeah, I
a little
remember that.
modular. Yeah, I do feel like maybe you miss out a little bit on switching aspects. You don't get that different aspect of that hero by only playing it in Justice because that's what it comes in. But I do like the idea that you don't say, oh, geez, it's another strength card. That what am I going to do with it? Put it in the binder. Like you want it, you need it in that deck. So there's never a complaint about duplicates, I would guess. So that's
No, it's great. I can just if I want to play Scarlet Witch, she's ready. She's available. But I do have one deck that I have built that is built up by me, and that is She-Hulk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, core.
Because I have the precons for the other 4, and I built her a while ago with some of the extra cards from the other packs. So I think she's in leadership without any allies because there were no allies available.
Oh boy.
That is not a good deck.
Yeah, you're right? Because the core set comes with like Spider-Man put together and somebody else, and then they give you lists for the other guys, but
Yeah.
there's not enough to play all 5 of them builds. Oh, poor She-Hulk.
And besides that, it's trying to the scenarios, the villains are really important to me, because as long as they are different, it's a new experience. And I really enjoyed Galaxy's Most Wanted because it was very different from what came before, but it was a tough box for me.
Sure.
Were you able to get through it?
With a few rules alterations, yes.
Okay, no, nothing. Hey, house rules totally legit, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're already handicapping yourself, so...
Yeah, I started that box with Groot, came through the first scenario, and then I came to the Collector. I had no chance, like nothing. And I tried to get Rocket. Didn't manage to get him through anything, and then I think I used Scarlet Witch for some. And when it came time to defeat Ronan, I did the only sensible thing, which was to put 24 points of Milano upgrades in play at the start.
That's funny.
So,
okay, that is
barely managed to win.
Lovely thematic cheat. I love it.
Yeah. There is no way they're going up against Ronan without upgrading their ship. So,
yeah. Well, this is good because not everyone likes to deck build, and these have been some really good tips.
Yeah. There's one thing I often deck build, and that is putting a Shawarma in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a gotta eat.
Great card.
So what's been your favorite box to play with precons?
I think I enjoy Rise of Red Skull because of the upgrades you get, or the bonus cards, the campaign cards, that gives you a bonus for attacking or thwarting.
Okay.
I think those campaign cards were good. Scenario-wise, I think I have to say the Spider-Man box. I think that one had a lot of fun scenarios.
Nice.
Yeah. And I am through the Mutant Genesis box. Yeah. I've lost against Magneto once.
Yeah, Magneto's tough. So.
Yeah. Yeah, besides that, I think playing a precon is a viable option as long as you're not concerned about winning everything. If you want a 20-25 minute solo game where you maybe beat the villain up or get beaten up, it's a good game. And you see a lot of variations now with over 30 heroes, I think it is now. Don't have that in my head.
There's a lot of them out there now.
Yeah.
I think the other neat thing is you will play with cards that other people won't play with, because sometimes there's a card in there, warning, or I don't know, browbeat or something. People are like, this card's terrible, and they'll just immediately put it away and never use it again, while you've got it in a deck that you play. So that's fun, I think.
Yeah, there are times where I see that this card might work well in another deck. I think I usually tend to include the Supreme Sorcerer in Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah, good.
Sounds like cheating. Hero cheating.
Yeah. I'm not cheating. I'm a solo precon player, and I need the help I can get.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's really nice because when I get the new box, I can just start playing right away. Don't need to build a deck to be up to previous standards of decks. So I think it's great. The one thing that I see is missing is that every release is self-contained, which means that they can't make scenarios that include stuff from Rise of the Red Skull and bonuses, campaign cards and other things.
Right.
If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I think having a campaign with both victory points and the ability to choose what you could do would have been fun. But as it's going to be self-contained or just requiring the base game, that's not going to happen.
Well, there was that contest they put out for people to make their own custom scenarios or custom campaigns, and they were allowed to use cards all over the place, were they not?
Yeah.
Yes, they were, but that's kind of like on the side of what their official releases are. So, and I also greatly enjoyed the hood because of the variety you could have him play. How different he could be depending on what you put in.
So how hard is the hood, Precon? He's a tough guy.
Yeah, depends on what hero you use, and I think I played him with War Machine the first time, and War Machine just blew through him right away. And but he is a tough one. But I have used. There was a guy online that did some thematic setups for the hood.
Oh yeah,
and I've played a few of those where he grabs a collection of modulars to get a theme. Those are fun, and some of them are easier than others.
I have one last question. So I feel like the designers might, I'm not sure if they're disingenuous about it, but would say that every precon has the chance of beating every villain. Do you think that's true?
I don't think they've said that.
Have they never said that?
I think they have said
don't do that.
Most villains. I think they have said.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was that true in your experience, Stig?
Nope. Not every precon can beat every hero, even in standard. I don't think so.
Like, not even at their luckiest. Okay.
If you count that as beating someone, yes, then maybe.
I have a hard time believing that Precon Rocket could beat Collector 1.
Oof, yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, I don't think Black Widow would work well against Collector either. She has too much card outs that would go in the collection.
Yeah. I think they have said, the designers. I think they've said that most heroes precons have a chance, and some it's just not going to work. But that's they can't be concerned about every hero and every villain and every combination.
No.
So, which I think is true. I mean, like you said, there's like how many heroes and how many villains and how many combinations now. So
I don't think Hulk can beat every villain either in his precon.
Any villain?
Every villain, sorry.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot I don't think could like take down Ronin or Magneto. There's a few in there, like you said. Collector 1 is going to be really hard for some.
Yeah.
Well, can't Hulk just punch him out like turn 1?
Hulk's precon. That's what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, but he's got that hit for 10 card or whatever.
Yeah. You play on skirmish.
Yeah. The problem is you don't have enough resources to do too big attacks, I think. So you won't get through him. I think we're good. Just remember that Quicksilver is the one protection hero that I have enjoyed playing in this precon.
Oh, that's good to know.
Because he could do a lot.
He could be ready. So you can still use him.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Stig, thank you so much for everything, for your ideas and for coming on to share your experiences with the precons.
Yep.
So hopefully people out there who are not into deck building got some good ideas and are going to check out a few more products.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Stig. Thanks for listening, folks.
No problem. Honored to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on. Well, all right. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. That was our special gift to you. You want to send us holiday gifts? You can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook, or you can find us on YouTube by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, Big Fumbloaf, and Wandering Took. If you like our show, tell Santa. If you don't like our show, tell Krampus. Good night, everyone.
How will I ever learn the reasons behind using or when you would use til for på, e, and om? That's my big hiccup in learning this language.
Til, for, på, and the last one was?
E and
E.
om. There's 5 of them. They all seem
Om.
interchangeable to me at some point.
Yes, they probably are. It's it's a thing you just learn. And if you want to go even further into this rabbit hole, you could try to learn if it's e or på when it comes to places, names of places. Is it i Bryne eller på Bryne? Like, is it in or in New York or on New York?
On New York, right.
Yeah. It's in New York, but in Norway there is a switch. There's a change going on from and how you correctly announce where you are. Are you in or are you on a place names? Those can make it even harder for you if you want more challenge. Call it expert
That's
mode.
That's what I need. Yeah. That's to me has been like the weird thing that I get tripped up all is those 5 things that seem interchangeable.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 2 more. They're quick though. So sometimes the subject and the verb are inverted when it's not a question. Yep. How do you know? And that's one thing. And then how do you know which times the possessive adjective follows the noun or comes before it?
Well, you just know.
That was my worry that there wasn't actually a rule. It's just you kind of know.
You say the verb and subject, it changes when it's a question.
Right. So, but sometimes when it's not a question, it'll change. And I think I figured that might be if it's like a second clause after like something that was like comma off in the intro. Like when I was young, and then you say I was something, that's when you would invert it. Like after that comma. Is that true?
Når jeg var ung, gikk jeg på ski. Yeah, that's probably right. I think this is just something we know, and that just sounds weird if we do it the wrong way around. If you're a non-native Norwegian speaker, we know when you do it wrong, and we notice it like a lot.
Right, sure.
but there
you also know what we're trying
rules.
to say, right?
It's just something you know.
Right. Yeah, and then the possessive
adjective
following the noun or coming before it, like that seems random.
It probably is. But we find that the way English inserts letter sounds really random too.
Give a good example.
All the silent letters.
Oh, yeah.
Thought, though.
Choir.
Yeah. Queue. Line up in a queue.
Oh, yeah.
Any homonym, right? At some point.
My son asked if the person that invented English was a dyslexic. Because there was letter all over the place. Yep.
Well, I hope he doesn't pick up French then. Jeez.
Yep.
Okay. I was assuming that the answers were going to be, well, you grow up Norwegian and just know the stuff.
Yeah.
Which probably is true of all language acquisition.
There are probably some rules, but we know them and don't worry about the rules.
Yeah, no one really knows their own grammar.
No.
Not much. Yeah.
I teach second grade, so I don't have to worry too much about those rules yet.
Right. Well, Stig, thank you. It's been a great pleasure to meet you after all this time of hearing from you and talking about you. To actually get to hang out has been special. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on, and thank you for doing the 25 days of Villainous.
And basically, when you give us work to do, that just means giving it to Steve. So that's fine.
Yeah. Humbug.
Mike and I operate under the same kind of procedure.
Yeah, I'll send a mail about some 12 days of Easter or something. Maybe that.
Awesome.
I was thinking 40 days of Columbus Day.
Yeah.
I want to do an Arbor Day episode where we just talk about Groot. So
That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thanks, everyone.